Yep.
Hello.
Hi, Tommy. This is Connie with More XO. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Oh, just hanging in here. I'm in Kentucky, you know, and it's been kind of a rainy day. One of those days you just like to sleep a lot.
I hear you. Yeah, we're mirroring you. We got the groggy rain here today as well. Here in St. Louis, yeah.
Right. So where are you at currently? Are you at Kentucky at the hospital?
By the grace of God, we are at home now. She was discharged yesterday, so yeah, we're at home.
Okay. Now, I wanted to take an opportunity to interview you and your family members that may be present at where you're at currently, and try to understand actually what, you know, it's hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I mean, I'm sure I probably butchered that name, and I apologize for that. But it's a heart disease, correct?
It is a heart disease, yes, and it's hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. Hypertrophic.
Oh, okay. I did a little bit of research on it because I was a little clueless, to say the least, and please correct me on some of the things that I do say, because I know and a lot of illnesses and diseases, not everything is the same for everybody, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is this something that most people would relate to as far as the athlete's situation? Is this a heart disease that affects a lot of athletes, no matter if they're younger or older?
Absolutely, and that is a topic that we're focusing on now. There are a lot of celebrities and a lot of pro athletes and upcoming athletes that have perished from this disease, such as Hank Gathers. There have been documentaries that might ring a bell to a lot of household names, where he basically dropped dead on the court, had a very promising career in front of him, went to Loyola Marymount with Bo Kimball, who also went pro and played pro ball as well. And there are several other instances and stories pertaining to athletes. You'll find this last year or a year or two ago, even on a smaller level, a high schooler football player dropped dead right on the field just on a practice day. So a lot of athletes, you'll find, if you do research, a lot of pro soccer players in the years to past have died from this disease, hopeform. And that's the abbreviation, hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. The doctors call it hopeform, but absolutely athletes and testing for this rare disease has not been on the main platform, which we're trying to do more research and get that on a higher level and bring attention to that. So yeah, that's a great question.
Right, and you know, I have to wonder, and you know, I'm not a spring chicken, but I have to wonder, back in high school, and then, you know, once I was in college, I would hear periodically about this happening to athletes, that they just fell on, you know, whether they were doing track or football or whatever sport they were in. And I'm wondering, you know, did they even have a name for it back then? And maybe the research has come to that point, at least that they have identifiers now. And I think a lot of that has to do with the proteins and the, is it the swelling of the tissue of the heart itself, or is it the arteries? I mean, can you clear that part of the mystery if it's not for me, for other people too?
Sure, not a problem. It's basically, and you're right on that. A lot of these athletes, and of course we're talking about athletes, but it's far more people that are spread with that at a whole. But a lot of these people didn't even have a fighting chance. A lot of these cases that you'll hear about, it was just eruptive, and they just literally dropped dead. And when you go back to the autopsies and when the doctors get involved, they find these things after the fact, and you can just imagine how, you know, a family feels knowing that something terminal of this, you know, caliber, you know, was undetected, and like I said, they didn't have a fighting chance. But basically, hopeform is it's cardiomyopathy, and the obstructive part comes in when there's a large heart caused by like the thickening of the muscle around the heart. So a normal heart would be pretty much at a fast pace, at a normal pace. When a patient has this disease, the heart moves slower. It doesn't have oxygen, and the blood it flows slower than a normal body would, and it causes palpitations and things of that nature. Pressures in the body are abnormal and things of that nature. But actually, I have we are blessed to have Cookie here with us today, and she definitely can shed a lot of light on this matter. But definitely, this disease as a whole is basically the large muscle that is thickened around the heart. That's basically what what it is at a small point of view.
Okay, so I also read that it's hereditary.
Correct. It's correct. It's hereditary in Cookie's, in my son's case, because our son also has this disease. It's congenital.
It's really wonderful people, and you get to meet all kind of people that suffer from different types of heart disease. So it's kind of a win and lose situation, if you will. Like, you just get educated. Yeah. You get to get educated on different type of people and what they're going through, and then you get a whole nother support cast, and that's always good.
Well, let me ask you, Cookie, if you don't mind, and tell me if you need to step in. I mean, that's fine, because Cookie, I really don't know how you're feeling, and that's not necessarily something I have to blast out to everybody. But you were diagnosed before your son, or was your son diagnosed before you?
I was diagnosed before my son. Actually, from what I've been told, I was diagnosed as a baby. I was told that I had cardiomyopathy, and in the 70s, believe it or not, I guess it depends on what type of financial status you were, or where you were, to even get the kind of treatment. And my parents did the best they could, and they took me to see a cardiologist, and they found out at a very young age, and they told me that I was very sick as a child and as a baby, and I had to stay in the hospital for a while. And basically the doctors just told my mother, go ahead and take her home, because we don't see her living past 18 because of her heart, and we don't have a cure for this type of disease. And so at this point, I didn't know anything, but around 8 years old, I can remember, and I believe I told this story online, but I was sitting in the room playing with my little brother, and we were playing with some toys, and I could remember this sharp pain just coming in my chest, feel like it just knocked the wind out of me. And I looked over at my mom. She was folding some clothes, and I said, Mom, my chest hurt. And she said, girl, your boobs are just growing. And I said, my boobs? At this age? So in those days, they just thought, you're just going through puberty and things like that. And I'm like, I don't think that I was going through puberty, but they had noticed some things about me. I wouldn't want to go outside to play much. I didn't want to run around much. Going up the stairs would take me forever, and I was always complaining, and they took me to the doctor, and they just basically said, it was the cardiomyopathy, and it was getting worse. However, in those days, they didn't share a lot with the children, so that's all I knew, is that, I see a cardiologist regularly, I have this disease, and I'm pretty much gonna die early, is what I was told. So imagine being 8 years old and being told you won't live to 18, and every year of your birthday you think, just a couple more years and I'm gonna be dead, because I have this disease that no one knows how to fix.
But the good thing about it is, Cookie is just still here.
Yes, I am. and I've outlived it, everything they said.
You know, you went past what they said.
I did. I did more than what they said. I have my own family. I'm married. Have 4 beautiful children. I graduated high school. I graduated college. I've opened up a couple businesses of my own, and so I feel blessed. You know, the disease, when I was younger, I believe age played a very important part because you're able to handle a lot of things differently when you're younger, and as you go older in age, your body starts to progress in different kinds of ways. And so that's when I started to notice different things that would happen. When I was 23, I had an episode where I felt like I was drowning in my sleep. And my mother rushed me to the hospital, and they said, if you wouldn't have got here a day later, you would have drowned in your own fluid. And I was diagnosed then with cardiomyopathy, with congestive heart failure, which is CHF, which is something that usually comes along with cardiomyopathy. And I had to get a defibrillator put in. And after that, it just was things after thing, and before I know it, it was several hospital visits. Went from 5 days to 7 days, 7 days to 14 days, to where I couldn't even count anymore how long I've been in the hospital.
Now, is your son, was he symptomatic the same as you?
His symptoms, he was 8 years old. One day, he was going up some stairs, and he said, "Mom, my chest hurt." And unlike my mom, I didn't say, I didn't say, "Oh, you have boobs," because obviously he didn't have any of those. But I said, "What does it feel like?" And he kind of explained it. And being that I had already have this disease, I knew exactly the symptoms when I saw him. And I immediately took him to the nearest cardiologist, and from there they pretty much told me that he had cardiomyopathy as well, and it was genetically passed down from me.
Right. So, but your other children are fine?
No, I get every year each one of my children get a test done to see if they're okay. So as long as my youngest daughter is around, she will always have to go and get a test and make sure that she doesn't have it. And we always concentrate on symptoms and things like that. And in fact, anybody with the gene or the same blood trait, because my father, he has heart disease, and then his father had it, my aunt had it, I had an uncle that had it, and I actually had an aunt that maybe back in the 50s or so, and I don't want to quite name what year because I don't know, but she literally dropped dead and they didn't know anything about it. So this is definitely something that's passed on. So I often tell my family members, please get checked. The gene is in you. You do have it, and it skips generation to generation, but don't ever, ignore any signs or symptoms or anything that feels different about you.
Right. Now, I have also read a little bit about that it's also referred to as a broken heart disease because of the stress factor. Just everyday stresses of people going to work and coming back home and cooking and taking care of kids or animals or whatever it is they have to do. It's stressful enough in the world today, you know what I'm saying. But they also refer to it as the broken heart disease. Have you ever heard of our syndrome? Have you ever heard of that before?
I have, and it's definitely a broken heart. I mean, that's why we started Hope for Hokum, because it's definitely a broken heart. I mean, you go from being this mother who can do everything. I mean, a soccer mom and I don't brag on being, you know, a mom, but I really felt that I was a good mom, and I am a good mom. But your everyday life changes. I mean, something as simple as, you know, getting up and washing your hair, and taking a shower and getting dressed, going to Walmart and pick up a few groceries, making your bed, all those things change. Your life is so different, and it's very sad, and you do become heartbroken, and you have to have like a thick skin in order to deal with it, because it's days that I feel very gloomy and sad because I just don't get it. And there's some days I have to, you know, get up and say, you know, I gotta fight. I have to fight because I have a family and friends and people that need me and want me here, but it's definitely a broken heart. I feel very brokenhearted, and that's a great way of saying how you feel.
Right, and I think it's safe to say that most people that really do understand this or maybe come to learn and be more knowledgeable about this. It's not that your mind's not telling you that you don't want to do these things, your body is just not letting you. No. And there's a big difference between mentally wanting and being physically able.
I mean, yes, it's your body. It's not your mind. It's your body. You know, because you start to have shortness of breath and the pain. It doesn't matter how much pain medicine they give you; they can't take away the pain. It's just something you have to live with, and that can be hard in itself. Just everyday little things that you would love to do, you just can't do it, and you know that's the sad part.
But you sound like you are a very fortunate lady to have the support group that you do. And anyone out there suffering with this situation at the beginning or an advanced stage, I hope that, you know, they have the same. Because you have your husband and your children and, you know, your family, there's DD and everyone else just being there going 1,000% for you. And that's a very, very thankful thing to have. You know, at any given moment for any type of situation, whether it be because, you know, just having a bad day or because you have something as you do, you know. So that's wonderful. And there's a foundation, and it has been set up. Can you tell me a little bit about the history and how people can contact the foundation or the charity that's been designed for you?
Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let AT tell you a little bit about Hope for Hokum, because he put together for me. And the movement has been amazing. The people on Facebook and Twitter and all these different people came from out of nowhere. I mean, the I love yous and the support has, oh man, you know, I can't explain the feeling that I get. And I was telling my husband at dinner last night, I said, wow, you know, I'm so happy that all these people just come from out of nowhere, and people telling you they love you that you don't even know, and that they're praying for you. And that gives you strength, but sometimes in the weirdest way, and I don't want to say that, it's like the more people that love me, I start to feel a happy, sad kind of thing, because I pray that the Lord keeps me here so I can be with all these people that love me and want to be with me and are willing to support me. But sometimes I wish that they didn't know me. I wouldn't want people to get attached, because I don't know what lies ahead for me. But I'm going to let AT tell you a little bit about Hope for Hokum.
All right. Thank you, dear. And I hope you have a great evening, okay?
You too. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome, dear. Hi, Tommy.
Hey, how you doing? So basically,
I'm fine.
yeah.
Well, you know, I can't last statement. The only thing I can say is this. It just goes to show you that people really do still have beautiful hearts about them still. You know, I mean, you hear so much negativity about everything in the streets and this and that and everything else, that it makes a big smile on my face that people are reaching out to her to let her know that they care from all over the world. And that's a wonderful thing. That truly is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's basically, you know, going through this, we've been going through this for about 11 years since I've been with Cookie, and we kind of got a professional view on this. So the past 4 months it's been real rough for us. We're battling 2 heart transplants at the same time. My son and my wife are both on the list at this time, and you know, just the doctor's visits and everything that's going on, and the emotions and things that I'm learning, you know, day to day going through this. I sat back one day, I'm like, wow, I'm like, you know, one, if you guys have to go through this terminal disease, you know, suffer through this, you know, I want the world to know your story, you know, on one aspect. The other one was, there might not be a family that is blessed as we are. We have a support group. We have a savviness about us that we know how to kind of reach out and get resources, but there might be a family that's less, you know, unfortunate than us. So I was thinking, how can we, while real time going through these experiences, how can we learn from this, and how can we help other families, you know, learn and benefit from this? And that's where the birth of this started, and it's basically a nonprofit organization that has been formed. It's Hope for Hokum. Hope in the FOR spelled out, and it's the abbreviations HOCM, and that's the hypertrophic obstructive cardiomyopathy. So it's Hope for Hokum, and that's the nonprofit that we're starting, where we're giving out information, resources, things of that nature. We're setting up programs. We're getting with the American Heart Association. We hope to land things with Make-A-Wish Foundation and things of that nature to help families out, to give them insight, real time, from consultation to therapy, from how to schedule your doctor's appointments, and how to get your medication regimen together, from just dealing with children and school and how to manage all of those routines. You may think it's simple, you may think it's just a no-brainer, but in a crisis, you'll be surprised how your brain reacts and where your priorities are. So these are just some of the things that we're trying to tap into. And when we started the interview about the athletes, we're going to push to try to make more awareness on athletic testing, pre-screening for these athletes. Again, I mean, they're dropping dead. I mean, it's one, you know, not to be an athlete in just everyday life, you can be a victim to that as well, but it's the you know, the exertion of a hard physical on your body, as well as having this disease, you know, it compacts the whole situation. So we are starting a organization. We're going to do fundraisers, galas, things of that nature. So that's pretty much where we're at. The opportunities that we have now with our son. So, you know, with him being 18, he's had a myomectomy when he was 13, and that's basically shaving off some of that thickened muscle around the heart, the obstructive muscle around the heart. They basically kind of shave some of that off to kind of preserve the body and the heart. And this disease is so it's so strong, and I mean it's high caliber that muscle has already grown back, and also it's grown to a point where he's on the list for that. And yeah.
Now on the charity aspect of it, this is for anyone that may be able to reach out to the charity because they're having problems or issues, whether it be for medication or other type of therapy or surgery or food or whatever it may be. They would reach out to the charity that you've developed.
Absolutely. We of course we have the Facebooks and Twitters. It's basically Hope for Hokum, HOPE, spelled out FORHOCM. We have the website hopeforhocm.com.org. We also have the Facebook account that we started from there and started the movement there. Reach us on Hope for Hokum, Facebook and Twitter. We also started a GoFundMe account just for our family, but the nonprofit organization we're going to start foundations on a local / national level. But you could donate proceeds right now to GoFundMe. That's www.gofundme.com / hopeforhocm.